Buenas tardes, YouTube. Welcome to my channel, Better Monday Fasting. Today I have a good news. The physical version of my book, Por un lunes mejor. So it's the Spanish version of For a Better Monday. It's now available on Amazon, Amazon Mexico y Amazon United States. So yeah, now I have the US English version in Kindle, the physical US English version, and now I have the Spanish Kindle version and the Spanish physical version. So yeah, I'm pretty excited. It's for me, it's a pretty big accomplishment. So in the pipes I wanted to have the Turkish version and the French version, but I decided to take a break for a little bit from editing and proofreading my own book, because I need to read different things, because yeah, I've been writing the book since May. Now we're in November, and yeah, I'm kind of sick of reading my own ideas, and also with the channel and everything, it's a little bit too much. So I'll be focusing on other projects. I have lots of exciting projects, and we'll see for the other languages. Also, I was kind of bummed. I noticed that while I was publishing the book in Spanish on Amazon, I wanted to look for the, on the drop-down menu, for Turkish, and it doesn't look like they have Turkish. So now it's yeah, that's also another reason that yeah, kind of takes my motivation away, because if it cannot be published in Turkish on Amazon, so that means that I have to find, I don't know if there's something similar in Turkey, or I have to do old school publishing and all that. So yeah, it makes everything a little bit more complicated, and also, since I'm investing in different projects, yeah, I have to be careful to not invest too much in projects that I don't know if I will have a return on investment. I mean, having a book it's a great accomplishment. I mean, even if it doesn't sell, I can use it in many ways. But also there's the financial reality. So I don't know if it's for a freshly baked out of the oven author like myself, maybe it's a little too much to have the first book in 4 languages. Maybe it's better to have those 2 versions out and see how it goes. And then yeah, I am clueless about the whole book publishing thing. I mean, what's guiding me, it's just that I'm really used to releasing music, so I've been releasing albums with different bands, Swan of Switzerland, Channing Cope, USA, Black Sea Storm, born in the USA, and then all over the world. And with Black Sea Storm I think I have 111 songs or something like that, something crazy, published on all the platforms. So I kind of know the process of publishing something, but the books, I'm really clueless. I don't know how to promote it other than making videos like this one. So I have to kind of get into it, and yeah, now that the book is out, yeah, maybe have more of a a colder, less of a emotional approach, and have more of a yeah, like see more maybe as a second step, more like a business, and see like how's the business of selling books. You know, like if I'm guessing like you have to promote. You know, if like nobody knows you, it's gonna be really hard to sell books as an unknown author. But yeah, the book is about like my fasting journey. So I've been fasting since 2016, and so I learned a lot like along the way because I happened to fast a lot, and I mean I had periods. I mean that's why I call it a journey. But yeah, I consider myself an expert in fasting because as a French fasting coach once, I don't want to say once told me, but I saw on one of his YouTube videos, I mean the only way to gain experience with fasting is to fast, you know. I mean, somebody can be a doctor and everything, and they're like, you know, they'll have a good understanding of physiology and all that. But if you've never done it, it's kind of stays abstract. I mean, nothing I'm sharing, it's medical advice. So do your own research. But yeah, I mean, it's just, it's by fasting that you get better at fasting and you understand. I mean, there's all these like, in between gray areas on how we feel, how we interpret the message from the body and all that, and that like and the evolution of fasting through the journey, that cannot like you cannot learn it with a book, you know, like it's you have to, I mean the book will help you to get started, like have a starting point, but then like we need our own experience. And so like what's inside of the book, it's information that saved my life. Like, I mean, you know, like when I look back, you know, now 8-9 years ago in 2000, I started in, 9 years ago. Started in 2016, almost 9 years ago. And when I look back, it's just, everything is better now. Like nothing is, I mean, health-wise, like I feel, I mean, I solved a lot of health-related problems thanks to fasting. Happiness, it's like nothing to compare. I mean, I have no problem saying that I'm 10 times happier, but that's also due to the fact that, like I live in Latin America. And for me, it was to give a little bit of background about myself. Is like I was born in Turkey, and at a very young age, my family moved to Switzerland. And although, like throughout the year, like I learned, you know, like the language, and yeah, I mean, I'm 200% like integrated to the Swiss society. I mean, I can function. I know the mentality very well. I did my military service in Switzerland. But there is always something, like it's just not like, there's always like this little tiny thing that like that was kind of making me unhappy. It's hard to tell what it is. It's probably, a part of it is the way, you know, when you're a child, you're getting your format. You're getting formatted, and like if you know, they were formatting you for Windows, and then you go, or they were formatting you for Mac, and then you go to Windows like halfway through. It's kind of like there is that, and also, yeah, I mean, like the Swiss society is not that, like it's very, I don't want to say anything bad, but it's hard to belong, you know. It's really. And even after all these years, even if maybe your spelling in French is better than them, and maybe you make more money and like everything, but they will always remind you that, I mean some people, well, not all of them, but Some people, they like, there's situations where it's very subtle, but like you never, you never feel like you belong 100%, you know. It's like little things. I mean, not like, it's not a, you know, like it's not a victim discourse or anything, but like small things, like I don't know, you go for a drink like with your friends, with your Swiss friends, and you're a Swiss citizen, so you can vote, and the elections are coming up, but everybody's asking you about Turkish politics, you know. Nobody, even though your vote counts the same, you know. So I like, well, things like that. Or people will, you know, you see a friend you haven't seen in a long time, and they'll always ask me like, oh, your parents, when are they going back to Turkey? And so after a while I started responding the same, you know. When people ask me that question, I'll be like, you know, my parents are here, and how about you? When's your parents going back to Turkey? You know, and they're like, oh, like, so there's always that underlying thing that, you know, we are more Swiss than you, you know, like they don't say it like that, but it's like, and it's always in the air, and after a while it's tiring. And so it doesn't keep you from doing anything. I mean, no complaints. I had, my last job was really good, like good paying jobs there. When I I did a lot of my schoolings there. I mean, I played soccer, I played tennis, I was able to play in bands, and I was even in situations where the state will help our bands to like indirectly, like to give us free practice space or things like that. So like nothing to complain, or help us with our label to release an album for us. I mean, they had all this like subsid for art and all that. Like, so it's nothing like nobody's keeping you from doing anything. So it's not. I'm not saying it. I'm not saying that like as a, you know, that victim mentality. But it's just like, for me, it's more like, you know, they always talk about your standards of living, you know. And usually, you know, the standards of living is measured by, you know, how well the freeways are done, the healthcare and all that. But for me, that is standard of living, you know. After Switzerland, I went to Argentina, I went to Mexico, and I feel within the community, I feel more accepted. Like, even though I've been living like, my family moved to Switzerland like 40 years ago, and here I am. I come to Mexico, and within 3 weeks, like I'm more accepted. Like that's kind of weird, you know. So it's more like. So I put that into standards of living, you know. Like to have good social interactions. Like, I had like some stuff. I mean, yeah. For example, like I used to live at my mom's place, and we had this neighbor, this lady from Norway, and oh my God, like she looked like, you know, you're living in the same building, so sometimes you cross paths and stuff, and she looked at me like with hatred, like you know, what are you doing? Like, you don't belong here. Like, that's the message. And she will do like passive aggressive things, you know, like there's a little garden there, like you walk through a little park. In between there are like towers, like 4 big towers, and in the middle there's a little park. And so there's little path, and like I will have like this like shopping cart, like with wheels, to go do my groceries. And she'll be speaking with somebody, and she sees me coming with that, and I think it was maybe a rainy day, like I didn't want to go on the grass or something, but like purposefully, like she doesn't let you pass. Like she doesn't, like it's like a passive aggressive, like she's not like, oh yeah, go ahead. No, like she's like, I belong here, you don't. So it's like, you know, it's like, yeah, it's passive aggressive. Once it happened to me, I was behind her at the groceries, like at the cashier, the grocery store. and she had paid and everything, and it's a very small, like it's in one of those towers, like a very small, like a grocery shopping. There's not much space, and yeah, she decided to not move. So I'm behind her. The cashier is there, and she's just, you know, like, so, you know, what do you do with that? I mean, she's like, I don't know, 80 years old. And she's from Norway, like she's a foreigner too, you know, it's like, so yeah, it's a small thing, but do you wanna, I mean, is it worth it? You know, that's what I'm saying. Like, for example, like here we're in Paraguay. Let me show you the sidewalk. Okay, so this is kind of the average sidewalk we have here. You know, so in Switzerland, this, like, it's really well done. It's the sidewalks and everything. But is it worth? Like, I mean, is that? You know, I mean, I'm sure for some people that's very important. You know, and I include that into the quality of living. But for me, the whole human thing, it's way more important than the sidewalks. You know, and so all that tangent to say that, yeah, I mean, it's not just fasting that changed my life, but thanks to fasting, I realized I was able to recognize that I was unhappy with my current situation, and then I took action. And Latin America works really well for me because I feel like because I was born in Turkey. I grew up in Switzerland. Then I lived 11 and a half years in the US. And while I was in the US, after learning English, I learned Spanish. And yeah, and now I feel like Latin America, it's the mix of all my cultures, you know. It's like the place I feel, of course, like Turkey, it's home, but I've been, you know, we left the country like 40 years ago, so when I go back there, it's always like, it's nice. I mean, you know, I have my soccer team, food, friends, but then I realized that, you know, my format has changed. So there are certain things that there are certain like cultural codes and stuff like I don't want to follow. Like, it's like, and I have to, because I mean, you respect the place where you live, but there are certain things that are like very awkward to me. Like, so I don't feel, I mean, I adapt, and from the outside, I mean, people might think, oh, he's Turkish and now he's living in Turkey, so everything is good. But no, like, because inside, like, there are certain things that I miss, or that's not how I do it, and or that's not how, I mean, those two, like, they're small things, like, but yeah, for example, like, each time I go back to my home country, I find them very intrusive, you know. Like, it's a shock for me. Like, once I was on a bench in a park, and this guy comes and he's like, oh, can I sit? Like, so he was like polite. There was another bench. I was like, yeah, of course. I mean, it's a public park. And the guy started asking me questions like, how much do you make? Where do you work? Like, what's the job of your parents? And then, where did you do your military service? I mean, it's just like, you know, next thing you know, like, he's asking you for your social security, and like, what is this? Like, you know, it's just, and I'm sure he doesn't mean bad, you know, like, it's like he doesn't have, it's not like he doesn't have a bad plan, or like, it's just that it's like that. Like, people are, and for me, it's shocking, you know, like, I don't know. Like, he didn't even ask my name, you know, and he's asking me all these like super personal questions, And yeah, like yeah, small things like that. Also, people love to live together. Like it's like even the architecture and stuff. Like people are like every house is, the country is huge and everything is packed together, you know, and they love it. They love like, you know, I hear stories like, you know, somebody will get a house somewhere and they try to bring all their friends to be very close, you know. Like for me it's like, you know, like there are days I just don't want to, for example, like one of my luxuries, like it's not to salute anyone, you know. It's just like I like when I wake up, when I have that creative juice, like to make music, and like I don't want to chit chat, because the moment I chit chat, like that magic is gone. So I like to, yeah, to enjoy life, to be independent, like, you know, like to be able to, for example, leave the house without saying hi or bye to anyone, and come back the same way. And and in Turkey it's impossible. Like it's like the way everything, and then, you know, like I mean, I've been in situations where like you enter your apartment building and it's even like it's almost like a meme, like the person living on the first floor, the first balcony, like that person knows everything, who's coming in, who's coming out. So, you know, you do your groceries, they're looking, oh, what did you buy and what are you gonna cook? And dude, like it's yeah, it's very, for me it's very, like I don't like it, you know. But then you're in a situation where it's like that. So if I say, ah, it's none of your business, they're gonna be like, what? Like, you know, like for them it's like, I'm trying to be nice and we're a community and stuff, and look at, you know. And that's gonna open a whole other Pandora box, because then they're gonna be like, oh yeah, he grew up in Germany, because like in Turkey, like all the foreigners, like Turkish, like the Turks from Europe, they're all from Germany. It's like, it's yeah. So then they're gonna look at you from that angle, and they'll go like, oh yeah, I understand. Like, you know, he went there and they corrupt his brain, or like, you know, and maybe that's the case. So it's hard, you know. It's very, it's difficult. It's a challenge. Like, but somehow in Latin America, like most of the countries I've been to, it's great because there's no racism, like at least like against me. And if I go to Colombia, maybe north of Mexico, Colombia, Argentina, here in Paraguay, I mean, like, you know, people kind of look like me. It's like so it's, there's no like I don't feel any discrimination. I mean, I had some situations where in Argentina I was trying to rent a place and they really treated me bad because I had a Muslim name and everything. Like, you know, things like that happen, but it's not it's not like day to day, because I kind of blend in. And then the other thing I really like about Latin America is like it's live and let live. Like, people don't care. Like, you just live your life. There is no, I like, it has been like 9 years almost, you know. I never had a conflict with anyone. It's just, and I play my guitar and stuff, and I'm sure at moments like maybe it bothers someone, but they don't say anything. And when they do their fiesta, it bothers me, but I don't say anything. And it's just, we live like it's a it's a thing. It's like there is no rule. I mean, I don't want to say there's no rules, but it's like, it's very, you know, like people are not gonna get mad for small things. And it's great. Like, it's just so that part I really like. And then also I really like for like dating and stuff. So it's closer to what I'm used to in Europe and the US. It's more freestyle than in Turkey. It's very complicated. I don't get all the dynamics. It's very like it seems very complicated, like dating girls there. Like, it's I mean, the the whole setup, and also socially it's very, yeah, they put you in a box. Like, if you have that age, you must be doing this. If you have that age, you must be doing this. Oh, you have that age, oh, then you cannot date a girl that has that age or that age. You know, it's like everything is formatted, you know, and that's horrible. Like, I mean, every man or woman have her own destiny, and you know, it's like if you take good care of yourself, it's not the same. I mean, I'm almost like 50 years old, but I don't relate to my age. Thanks to fasting and taking care of myself. So it's not like, I mean, I don't want to say it's just a number. I mean, it's your chronological age has some sort of an importance. I mean, it's a marker, but yeah, it's not. And in my life, I've done everything backwards. You know, like I was a high school dropout, and then I went to the U.S. I finished high school. Then I went to I was already 30 something when I finished college. You know, and so what? I mean, I'm still here. You know? It's like you don't have to do. Yeah, my life is more of a Tarantino movie than things didn't build up like the way they were supposed to. But yeah, you can always make things happen, but then you have to be in a society that allows that, you know. You know, like I was when I started going back to college, I think I was 28. I started going to San Diego City College, and I was really welcomed, you know. You know, I mean, they were happy to have me there, like, but yeah, in my home country, it will be something like they will see it as like, oh, you're taking somebody else's spot, you know. It's like, I'm guessing, I don't know it for sure, and now there's a lot of private universities, and maybe the continuing education thing is like it's maybe more accepted, but yeah, I mean, in Turkey it's very cutthroat. I mean, it's like for a good portion of your life, it's like you're too young, and then in one day it's like, oh, you're too old. It's always like closed doors, you know. It's like, man, just let me live my life, you know. It's so yeah, like for all these reasons, and now with technology that allows you to work and generate income in the US or Europe and live in Latin America, so it's great. It's a great situation to be in, you know. I mean, already, like, I love it here, but then the things that could be kind of a challenge here, they are not, you know. If you have the setup I have, like, I mean, basically, what is difficult in Latin America is it's poverty, and like, or you're going to be exploited and like work really long hours, and that's the challenge. When you go to Colombia and stuff, you see, I mean, there you have amazing people like with great education and all that, but they're struggling, you know. Like, it's like, so that's the biggest challenge. But then somehow, if you have saved money, or somehow you can get your income from outside, then it's a whole different dynamic. I mean, you have not only you have a great life, but in the West you could do, I mean, you will need like 4 or 5 times more that amount of money to have something similar, you know. So, and this is on top of the fact that it's a really cool place. I mean, the nature is great, food is great, and people are great, you know. And now, like, I'm in Paraguay, I mean, it's cheaper than buy meat than some fruits, you know. It's like top notch. It's the best meat of the world, you know. And for a couple dollars, you have a nice steak. And now I'm hearing in my country, like in Turkey, like the prices are really high. People cannot get access to things like meat like that. Like, I mean, I have a keto diet, I mean, in Turkey it will be really hard because the whole Turkish cuisine is about, you know, making cheap stuff taste really good, you know. It's very, you know, it's always, I mean, with meat they're gonna make köfte, they're gonna make lahmacun, they're gonna make, I mean, it's, you know, it's less in the culture to have, you know, like a half kilo, like or a pound of steak, you know. That's well, with the Nusret and stuff, like, I mean, that culture has been imported, but in reality it's always like I mean, oftentimes, I shouldn't say always, but with the creativity to make more affordable stuff taste good. I mean, for somebody that is a vegetarian or doesn't consume animal products, I mean, Turkey is a heaven. But it doesn't come from ideology. Like, it doesn't come from because they want to save the animals, or it comes because they cannot afford it. So you have all these dishes with olive oil and all that. So yeah, so all that to say that what's in what's in this book, you know, really, I mean, the information that is present in the book changed my life. So I don't want to have the pretension to say, oh, buy this book and it will change yours, because that I don't know. But yeah, it's a very easy to read, simple book, and the information that is present in this book, for me, has been the master solution. I mean, fitness, health, sexual life, happiness, courage, capacity to learn things, travel, to be more resilient. So everything, yeah, everything is in there. And but for me, it worked on me. So then I'm thinking that it could work for somebody else. You know, it's just then you'll tell me, like, if you apply it. And so that's why, like, I was thinking about this whole thing, you know, like music versus writing a book. I mean, music, even though sometimes it takes time, you know, for an album to sink in, to find its audience, but music is like, I mean, if it's good and it clicks with people, it's can be very fast, you know. That's why, I mean, and especially if you have like promotion behind you and you have a hit song or something, like, it will, yeah, that's why it's called a hit, you know. It will hit people right off the bat. And but with the books, it's like, it's not like that. I mean, the process is slower, and in my case it's even slower, because, I mean, with the normal book, I mean, if it's like a literature, people are going to read it and then have an opinion on it. They're going to be like, oh, it's a good book or a bad book. I mean, the thing is, like, my book is not a literature book. So in order for me, like, somebody to put a judgment on my book, they need to first read the book, then apply, and then see the results, and then judge the results, and then they can be like, and by the time, like, maybe they forget where they got the information, you know, from the first place. So it's at least a 2-year process. That's how I try to calculate. Yeah, for somebody to be like, you know what, this has changed my life, it's 1.5 to 2 years process. So we'll see. Time will tell. In the meantime, my responsibility is to get the word out there, get the message out there, and, you know, I'll be really happy if because it was an investment for me, you know, like, for the Spanish version, I had a translator. For the English version, I had like an editor. There's the formatting, there's the cover design. So it's an investment. So if I could at least cover my investment, that will already be a big success, like on a financial level. But for me, the most important is, yeah, get the message out there and like eventually like create the same change that I was able to create through fasting. Because that's my, I don't want to say like my war, but how to say my, yeah, that's my struggle. That's, you know, more, we'll have people that are happy, healthy, they're not wasting time with the health issues, they're focusing on their purpose, they're helping people around them. Yeah, they're keeping away from being toxic, you know, at all levels. So that's like, we're winning the war, you know, like that's my, yeah, that's the war I'm in. So like everybody that I can get on my side, on this side of being healthy, so then it will, because every person will impact, you know, other people and all that. Like I have faith in that. So that's why like I have to keep going no matter what. Like because I really believe in it. Like, I mean, you know, when I look at myself now and I look at myself like 10 years ago, like, and I'm 10 years older, and despite the fact that I'm 10 years older, everything is like, my 40s are better than my 30s, and like it's just crazy. Like, I don't know. So I have to communicate that. So it's possible to, yeah, to feel better and like, you know, accomplish your dreams, be happy, see the world, learn languages, and spend less money with useless things. You know, like optimize your food, optimize your money, optimize your time. Yeah, all those things, they make a big difference. Like instead of making other people rich, you know, with solutions that don't work, you know, like we can do the right things for ourselves. So that's the deep message of today. But yeah, I'm really happy to have the Spanish. That's just crazy. Like, to me, it's crazy. Like, you know, when I moved to the US in '99, I couldn't even speak English, and I couldn't speak like even less Spanish, you know. And now you fast forward a quarter of a century. I mean, and I'm an author in English, US English, and Spanish, and not my native language, you know. That's just crazy life. Like that's I mean, it's just like it just happened that way. Like, but I don't know. To me, it blows my mind. Just just blows my mind. Yeah, you know, when I was a kid in Turkey, you would have told me, "Oh, you're going to be an author in Spanish one day." Yeah, it's yeah. So like, yeah, that's why life is exciting. You know, it's worth living the life, and my belief is that with fasting we can optimize everything, so we get more out of it. You know, so it's as simple as that. We get, like, there are certain things we have to do. You know, you have to work, you have to clean your house, you have to have sex, you have to like eat. But you can optimize all of that, and once you do it, then you live a better life. It has a positive impact on your life. So thank you for watching this video, and hopefully I see you in another video on the channel. Thanks.